Alright, welcome to the video. Thank you to Jackie and Rory for interviewing me, and subscribe to their channel down below. Boom.
Hi Joey, welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on our channel today. We really appreciate it. And we just want you to know, you have been one of our biggest inspirations to actually start our vegan lifestyle challenge channel.
Vegan lifestyle challenge, yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, and yeah, welcome to our channel.
Thank you, the pleasure is mine.
So could you let us know what led you to the vegan lifestyle?
Well, you know what, I had to think about that for a while. I was trying to mull through my mind as to when the first seed got planted, because the actual story was I did it spontaneously one day. And it was like boom, my mum said something to me and the next day I went vegan. So I had to think back, and I was like, well, why? Why did I have this spontaneous sort of instantaneous decision to go vegan? And I looked back in my not too distant past, which was full of drugs, alcohol, and hangovers and bad memory. And I looked back to a time when I was on home detention, and I'd put on a lot of weight. I was fat. I mean, I was obese. I've got stretch marks all on my stomach. I was really big. And I was depressed and all this stuff, and I had enough of feeling that way. I had enough, and I was searching around on the internet for the best way to lose weight, and I found a vegan channel, a raw vegan. I don't know if he's vegan, but he promotes a raw vegan diet of fruit juices and fruit and vegetable juicing, and I think his name's Dan McDonald or something like that. But anyway, he was talking a lot about if you eat death and suffering, you become death and suffering. And he was talking about karma. And it resonated with me, and I've seen the truth in that. And all you have to do is look around and see all the people that are eating dead animals. They're fat, they're sick, they're dying of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, they're depressed. And it made a lot of sense to me. So I did the juice fasting, I lost a lot of weight. I got sentenced to prison time, and while I was in prison, I sobered up. I was sober. First time I'd been sober since I was 14 years old. So that's a lot. It was 11 years or something since I'd been sober for this amount of time. So when I got out of prison, I was a new man. I'd spiritually evolved. I had seen life with new eyes. And one day my mum said something to me She said there's a lot of things people have in their lives that they don't change or whatever, and it made me sort of click, and I was like, wow, I've always said I was going to go vegan. I know I've seen the hypocrisy in saying that you love animals and then chopping their head off for a sandwich, and I just did it spontaneously that day, boom. So the seed was planted earlier on.
Wow, that's so cool. And yeah, I didn't know before this conversation that it started due to that. I don't know, I didn't realise that it went back that far for you.
It was that, and also I'm a truth seeker, and I always have been a truth seeker. I mean, I've always known the government was lying to us. I've always known this reality wasn't like the narrative we'd been told, and I've always been a truth seeker since I was a little kid. So I know truth when I hear it. I see it, and I'm like, I cannot deny it. I'm not one of these people who deny reality, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. And if someone has an argument that is full of truth, I'm willing to listen to it. I'm not that closed off, and I'm open to things like that.
So is there anyone in particular that's inspired you?
Well, there would be different people who've inspired me in different ways, and I draw inspiration from all of those people. So everything inspires me. Everything inspires me. I think you just need eyes to see, and you can draw inspiration from everything around you and people around you. When I was younger in school, I was inspired a lot by Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, Mahatma Gandhi, he overthrew the British Empire with this peaceful, non-violent resistance, and Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy, and they were shot because they tried to make peace in the world, and all of that, and I understood that, and I understood oppression, and I loved those activists who stood up against oppression, and I always admired that ever since I was little. I love people like Tupac. I know he was a bit of a gangster rapper, but he also spoke a lot about oppression and, you know, and black rights and things like that. And I admired that. And it was something inside me that I was like, I resonated with that. I wanted to, even as a child, I knew that this system was corrupt and we were oppressed as, and some people are oppressed more than others. And then when I found out the most oppressed, the animals, I really resonated with them even more so than humans, because, you know, when you look at the animal suffering, it's been going on a lot longer, and it's still going on today, and they're not even recognised as individuals at all, even in this day and age, even in your most civilised Western countries, civilised in quotations. So, but I would have to say, I draw inspiration from a lot of different people. Gary Yourofsky, probably animal rights activist. I love Gary Yourofsky. He just says it how it is, and he speaks for the animals unapologetically. I think that's a lot of what we need. We need all different kinds of activists. We need your peaceful James Aspies, who's a legend too. He's inspirational to me. But yeah, I feel like Gary Yourofsky's like, he's the educator of educators, and he speaks the, you know, uncensored truth, and I love that.
Yeah, we like Gary. We love Gary.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, you're similar. Like, you speak unapologetically as well, and that's really, like, you have a lot of courage, and yeah, we really admire that in you. So yeah, speaking about courage, one of my favorite things that you do for YouTube is your Joey versus the public videos. And I'm just wondering, because if that was me in that situation, my heart would just be pounding. Like, I would feel so nervous. I would be getting, like, I don't know, my blood would boil sometimes because of the, like, ignorance. Or I just wonder how you keep your cool, because you come across so calm and collected, and I'm just wondering, like, how do you do that?
My heart would be pounding.
Well, I'll tell you right now, my heart is pounding sometimes. My heart is pounding, and that's the thing about courage. It's not the absence of fear; it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. You know. So, yeah, I'm not saying that I don't go out there and I'm not like, oh my God, what are they going to say? These questions are so controversial. You know how, like, you know, and I'm basically telling them that they're immoral and that their lifestyle is, you know, immoral, and that they're, you know, right to their face. But I do it in a way that it doesn't offend them. That you know, it's like I lead them to their own conclusion. So, but my heart is pumping. My heart is pumping. I'm getting adrenaline, but I remain. I look calm and cool, calm and collected, because I'm controlling myself. I'm controlling those emotions, because I know I've got a job out there to do, and I want to get the best responses from people possible. I almost am looking for them to say something ridiculous, like a silly justification for them slaughtering animals, because it's exactly what I want. That's what I'm going out there to get, because I want to show that to the audience. I want people to go, okay, that sounded ridiculous. That's a justification that I use, and I'm watching this guy say it, and this is how ridiculous it sounds, so it wakes up the audience. It's not always what happens with that person there on the street. It's not always whether they go vegan, but it's the people, the audience watching it, because I'll present it in such a way that it'll wake people up, and they'll go, wow, that lion argument is stupid. That doesn't justify murdering animals because a lion does it. Are we going to base all our moral guidelines on the behaviour of an animal, on an animal such as a lion? You know, like, maybe we should base our moral behaviour on the animal like a cow. You know, like most animals are herbivorous, and they don't hurt each other, and they don't hurt other animals. You know, that's where we should base our behaviour.
But do you feel angry?
Not when I'm doing Joey versus the public. Not when I'm out there on the streets doing the public thing, because I want that. I'm going out there specifically to get that reaction. That's what I want. But I'm not saying I never get angry. I never get triggered. I never get, you know, because you'll watch my other videos and you'll see me responding to people, and there will be passion there. There will be anger there. There will be, absolute just disgust at the human race. I mean, I'm a human being at the end of the day, but when I'm going out there and discussing it with the public, and when I'm talking to friends and things like that, I know that response isn't going to always be the best level of communication. And I don't want to end a really good interview right there and then, because I'm letting my emotions get in the way. So.
And Joey, what's your thoughts on honey?
I mean, a lot of people have this misconception that honey is a grey area for veganism, which is not true. Honey is cruel and exploitative. It's a cruel product inherently, and I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, what they do is they mail out these queen bees, and then the people get these queen bees out and they rip their wings off. It's the first thing they do is they rip the queen bees' wings off. I mean, we've had activists saying that that's one of the cruelest things that we do to animals, is taking away their mode of transportation. I mean, it's like having your legs and arms cut off and sat in some slave labor camp. Horrible. It never ceases to amaze me how selfish and greedy human beings can be. I mean, we have all these alternatives around for honey. We've got agave syrup, maple syrup, glucose syrup, sugar. We've got a universe of different options, all right? The bees have their honey, and we still want to take that from them. I mean, it's human beings and their supremacist, self-righteous, attitude. They just want to exploit anything in their path. So leave the honey for the bees and try out the millions of other options there are. Honey is the vomit of the bee, so it's vomit. It's the bees' vomit, and it's their food source, and the bees should be left alone.
We agree. I was speaking to a vegan about this yesterday, and he thought it was like a grey area depending on how the honey was made and how the bees were kept and stuff like that. But I still
but that's treatment.
Perpetuates the idea that it's okay to exploit another being, and I still don't think that's right. As
soon as you start looking at an animal like it's a resource, then treatment will slowly go out the window. Once there's a demand for a product, okay, so people go, I source my eggs ethically from a free range. This is a load of shit, because treatment slowly goes out the window once there's a massive demand for it, because you can't possibly mass produce these products without there being some form of cruelty. And even if these bees were treated nicely and kindly, it's still unethical to exploit an animal for a resource that is theirs. It's wrong. It's wrong on every level. And if it were a human, if you were treating a human slave nicely, let's just say you were whipping them 5 times a day instead of 50 times a day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still wrong.
Definitely. You go for that one.
What's your sort of favourite kind of activism? So, I don't know, do you prefer your YouTube, or do you prefer being out? Obviously you film it all anyway, but do you prefer being out on the streets, or do you prefer researching it at home and making a video?
My favourite type of activism is to be out there on the streets. I mean, there's no better feeling than it. I mean, you get this energy comes up. It's just, I don't know, you get this adrenaline and energy, and it's an amazing feeling. And I don't know, something comes over you. It's just like you're out there, and you just start talking, and it just comes out, and it's an amazing feeling. And the best thing to do is film that. You film that stuff and you put it on YouTube. YouTube is the platform. So whatever activism you choose to do, you gotta put it up on social media. Otherwise, it falls on the ears of those who are watching. So YouTube and social media is the platform for your activism. So whatever you're doing out there in the shops, on the streets, and with your signs out there, and in whatever form of activism you're doing, film it. Put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, take photos so people can see it and other activists see it and they get inspired, and it just creates this massive movement, and when other activists see you doing it, they're inspired to do it. They want to get out there. So my favourite type of activism is out there on the streets educating people, and the best platform to show that is YouTube and Facebook and however you can.
What do you think the biggest obstacle for veganism, for the vegan movement, what do you think the biggest obstacle is right now? Yeah, what's preventing it? I know it's
The biggest obstacle, oh my god, we have got like, oh, that is I wish you gave me that question before so I could have a good think about it, because there is a lot of obstacles. We are facing monumental obstacles. I mean, there's misinformation. I mean, these meat and dairy and egg industries, they are spreading misinformation like a virus. They control the media, they control the education system in nutrition schools, doctors, teachers, your parents. They are fed with this misinformation and they are programmed to say the same thing. What about protein? What about iron? What about calcium? What about this? That? People have been programmed since they were a kid. All this propaganda and lies. It's blatant lies, and it's evil. It is evil because they're killing humans and they're killing animals, and animals were put here for us to eat. What about these canines and all these lies? So human ignorance is a massive obstacle. Like, people just ignorant, but misinformation is a bigger obstacle because they've already got these set of beliefs, and it's hard to unindoctrinate someone who's that far gone. The truth is very powerful. I will say that. The truth is powerful. The truth can never be long hidden. Okay? It will always win. The truth will always succeed. So we've got the truth on our side, but they have a lot of things in place to try to silence the truth, I tell you right now. So it's a massive, but people are dying. People are dying. They're on their deathbed from eating these dead animals. They're suffering themselves. They're getting the karma. The karma is there. You can see it happening on a large scale. So, I mean, it's either you change or you suffer and you go down with the ship with the animals. So, yeah, there's massive obstacles and you know, I think misinformation is one of the massive ones.
It's a bit of a boring one, I guess, but what is your favourite vegan meal to cook for dinner, for example?
What do you like to eat, Joey?
Well, I love purple sweet potatoes. Give me purple sweet potatoes. I could eat just purple sweet potatoes for the rest of my life. But, you know, I love rice and corn and starches. I love starches. But who doesn't like a big stomach full of potatoes and beans? And it just makes you feel like, oh, I've eaten, you know. I've eaten. I'm not hungry. And I do like vegan junk food, but it doesn't make me feel good. So I don't like the after feeling. I mean, these like sweet potatoes and rice and, you know, vegetables and fruits and things like that, it makes you feel good the next day, and you know, it satiates you, you feel good, you got energy. So that is what I like to eat. I love how it makes me feel. So purple sweet potatoes.
Just generally stick to whole foods as a rule of thumb.
Whole plant foods for health. But if you want to, you know, veganism is the main thing you should focus on. Vegan, is it vegan? That's all you got to ask yourself. Health is something you do for yourself, so you feel better, you look better, you're a good representation of the vegan diet. So health is important too. But the main thing is you're not murdering animals with your food choices. So if you want to have a bit of vegan junk food, ice cream, vegan cheese, vegan pizza, vegan burgers, go for your life. Veganism is the most important thing. But health is important too. You want to be a good billboard for veganism.
We can probably guess the answer already because you've got a dog, but how do you feel about pets?
Dogs are omnivorous, so you know they can thrive on a vegan diet. And the problem with pets is if you're going to get pets, a snake, a cat, and there's a little bit. I know that cats can be vegan, but you are responsible for the animals that you are feeding your carnivorous animal. So if you're going to the shop and you're buying dead mice, frozen mice to feed to your snake, then that's on you. That is on you. So as a vegan, if you're going out to buy a cruel, disgusting products from a sick industry like the dog food industry to feed to your dog, how many animals' lives are you chewing through, are you supporting the death of to feed your one animal? I mean, it's not right. It doesn't make sense. So when it comes to to animals, you have to veganize them, or find an ethical way to feed them, or just choose not to have carnivorous animals like snakes and things like that. And I don't personally agree. I don't think it's vegan to support the dog food industry. It's not vegan. And so cats, you have to do your research, and because they are carnivores, so you have to. But I know they can live vegan, but you have to do your research and things like that. So it's just a very complex topic.
And how do you feel in general keeping a pet? Do you feel that, because some people might argue that keeping a pet in itself, owning a pet, is that vegan or not?
You could say that keeping a pet is you're holding an animal beyond against its will, and you have should let the dogs free. But we live in a society which is a prison in itself. Us as humans aren't allowed to go out and do what we want. Children, you can't let your child go free. You have to, because if I let my dog go, it would get run over by a car, it would get caught up by the pound, it would get ejected with it would get killed, euthanized. But we have created a problem here with domesticated animals, so that we now need to sort of look after these animals that we got. It only becomes unethical if you start buying pets from the pet store and things like that, where they're a breeder, things like that. But we need to start rescuing these animals that we brought on into this world, and sorting out the problem that we have here. But I don't think it's vegan to keep a companion animal if you treat it as your friend, as your equal. Obviously, you don't treat them the same, because you can't let a dog, they don't understand, like they can't go out and do what they want. There's rules that we all have to follow in this society. Us as humans are not even free. We're not free. People think that we're free, but no, we're only free in the confines of this, this prison-like structure that we're born into, of work and money and things like that. So we're not even free. So animals can never truly be free, but there's levels of freedom. I mean, dogs have still got more rights to freedom and sanctuary than cows and pigs and chickens do. So we got to look at it like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think? Okay, so this is a big one for us right now, because we're in Mexico and there's a lot of mosquitoes here. And what do you think about killing a mozzie? Is that something you do, like self-defense?
Yeah, well, you have to defend yourself, and things like parasites and ticks and mosquitoes. And if your dog is getting attacked by fleas, you have the right to defend yourself. Cows have done nothing wrong to me. Chickens have done nothing wrong to me. If there's a spider on the wall, it's not hurting me. Okay? If they're not hurting you directly, then there's no reason to destroy and kill and murder and eat and do all this brutality to the animals. But if a mosquito starts biting the hell out of you, you have to do what you can to defend yourself. I mean, if there's some kind of repellent, a vegan repellent, you can put on like citrus oil or something like that. That would help, so you're not always, but if you're getting attacked by something, then you have the right to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's what the conclusion we came to.
Yeah.
Is.
Yeah, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in, 10 years time, like in relation to veganism? Will you still be doing the same thing, or do you want to be somewhere else or doing more or something different?
Yeah, see, I never plan that far ahead. I've always been someone who lives in the moment. I don't know whether that is always good, because I never plan things. I never prepare for something bad to happen. I never plan to do anything. I live in the moment, and whatever I want to do in that moment, and wherever my mind is at that moment, it sort of creates the next moment, and that's how my mind works. But I would like to. This is what I would like to happen. I would like to be more influential in changing people to veganism. I want to create more change and inspire more activists and inspire more people, and have a bigger platform for that, and create and just be part of this solution. So my goals for the future are not what that my goals can do for me, but what my goals can do to help animals and other people.
And how do you feel about, say if somebody wasn't vegan before and they've gone vegan and they have leather shoes and a leather jacket from before, how do you feel about them wearing that still?
I think I personally don't think it's a good idea as a vegan to wear the skin of a dead baby animal. Personally, I think it's bad advertising, and it's not conducting yourself in a way that, because people are very critical of vegans, okay? And if you're a vegan and you're telling people that eating animals is wrong, yet you're wearing the skin of a tortured cow, then you look like a bit of a hypocrite. So I personally would take those items and dispose of them. I'd dispose of them because they should be buried in the ground. It's a dead body at the end of the day. These are parts of a dead animal. They are not inanimate objects. These pieces of animals used to live. They were part of a. If you just became aware that your husband was going out killing human beings, taking them home, skinning them alive, making little sweaters out of them, and giving you those sweaters for Valentine's Day, and you were wearing them, and then you realised what he was doing, and you're like, whoa, I'm wearing this skin of the person. Would you continue to wear it after that? I don't want to waste it. I don't want to get rid of it because it's bad, or it's bad for, to keep consuming, buying other products. No, you get that off of you and give it to the police at the police station and get it away from me. And that's how we have to look at these leather products and wool products and things like that. We need to get them out of our lives, bury them in the ground, and use that as symbolically burying, that part of your life.
Yeah, I had to get rid of mine because I just felt awful wearing it. I was just like, this isn't gonna work anymore. And what about like fake fur?
Like faux fur.
What are my thoughts on it?
On people wearing like fake wool or fake fur. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I obviously want people to wear fake fur, not the real fur. We have vegan milk, we have vegan cheese, we have vegan meat, and we also have vegan fur. Okay? So we're taking care of that problem. You can still have that beautiful fur coat without the death, violence, and torture. So I am for fake fur. As long as people know that it's fake. Hey, it's fake. It's fake. It's not real fur. I've chosen to wear a vegan option because I don't think exploiting animals is right. And support fake fur. Support the industries that sell fake fur. Because we need to stop supporting the industries that anally electrocute innocent animals. Also, another thing about fur. I know there's these lot of single issue campaigns that go out and target fur wearers. I applaud all types of activism. I think fantastic, great that they're getting out there and doing it. But I don't really see people targeting those who wear leather. And I just think that people look at fur like it's a lot worse than leather or wool. In reality, I don't know whether that's true. I think that they're all bad. But I just think people think fur is worse. And I don't know whether that's because the animals are supposedly cuter or that have more of affinity towards coyotes and minks and things like that than they do towards cows, because cows have always been abused. Billions and billions and billions of cows since the dawn, forever. So I don't know where people look at leather, they don't get that offended because they're just like, oh, it's just leather. They make horse saddles out of it, shoes, belts. I've always seen leather, so they don't go, oh my god, leather, and get a group of them and go take off those leather shoes. Go up to a biker and tell him to take off his leather jacket because it's a leather. So I applaud all types of activism, but I see a lot of people getting more offended by fur than they do with leather and wool and silk and things like that and down. And I think we need to be consistent. We need to be consistent in all of our activism and in all areas like leather and wool and silk and yeah.
Oh, I used to have a down duvet, and I just had no idea. That's just what I used to have at home, with my parents, and then I got one when I left home. And I didn't even think about it. I just couldn't believe the cruelty that goes into that. So
they pluck the ducks alive and it's horrible.
Oh, it's just awful.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think with fur and leather, I think fur can often be seen as worse, maybe because it's more recognisable. Like a leather coat, it doesn't look like cow skin or fur.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe a fur coat is kind of like it's more recognisable. You know, you can recognise it more, basically.
That's true, but also I think that there's been more single issue campaigns to get, like Peter has been involved in a lot of campaigns to get it out in the public, and they've attacked a lot of celebrities and things like that, so it's more well known.
Yeah.
So to anyone who may be watching this video who's not yet vegan and maybe considering going vegan, what would you say to them?
Okay, now if you're considering going vegan and you're a bit on the fence about it, what I would personally do is I would seek out some slaughterhouse footage from your area, some current slaughterhouse footage, and just like something like Earthlings is good, but it depends on what region you're in. If you're in the UK, there's plenty of UK activists that have footage from the UK. If you're in Australia, look at current Australian footage. If you're in the US, look at current US footage. Look at what these animals are going through, okay, with your own eyes, so you can see what they go through, and ask yourself, would you like to be treated like that? Do you think it's justified to put an animal through that kind of suffering, to put billions and billions of animals through that kind of suffering, torture and death, so that you can have 5 minutes of taste pleasure in your mouth? A life of suffering for a small amount of taste pleasure. This is a mass holocaust, and put yourself in the animal's position. These animals are feeling, breathing, sentient. They understand, they feel pain and suffering. They want to live just like you do. Also, there is a universe of vegan options out there. There's no reason to... You're not missing out on anything. There's vegan cheese, vegan ice creams, burgers, meat substitutes, all of that don't contain suffering and death. You'll be better off, you'll be healthier, and you won't be contributing to this sort of suffering. So ask yourself, is it worth an animal's life so I can have a meal? And educate yourself. Education is key.
Where can people find you? I mean, we're going to leave a link below to your YouTube channel, but is that the best place to get hold of you, like to find you?
I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, so you can find me anywhere, and I will answer my messages. I answer my Instagram inboxes, my emails. My email address is always in the description box of my YouTube videos. You can find me on Facebook. Send me a private message. I'm willing to help anyone who's interested in turning vegan, or if they need help with a certain argument with a vegan meat, anything to do with anything. If you want to quit drugs, get sober, I'm here to help, support, whatever.
And we'll leave a link to all your social media accounts as well in the box below.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
So finally, we're done now. So finally, before we finish, and probably most importantly, where do you get your protein,
bro?
Oh, well, I get my protein from the same place that the cow gets their protein. The cow people eat. This is the psychopathy of and pure lack of logical, critical thinking. People eat the cow to get the nutrients, where the cow eats the plants to get the nutrients. So you're filtering all your nutrients through an animal, and you've got to kill the animal to get those nutrients, and they're second grade, they're not as good, whereas you should just be going straight to the source, which is the plants. They contain all the nutrients you need.
Yeah, we were kind of just joking on that last one, but thanks for explaining for everybody else.
It is funny because that is the most commonly asked question, but
Yeah.
I know.
it also needs a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Joey. It's been so awesome
Thanks, Joey.
to speak to you and connect with you today. We think you're amazing, and yeah, you've inspired us so much. So thank you very much.
Keep on doing what you do.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.